Hey guys, and welcome to QualityShot. The WTA Tour Finals is upon us. The top 8 players from the women's game will battle it out and go head-to-head to see who wins this year-ending competition. The best be the best. What more can you ask for? It's going to be held in Mexico, in Guadalajara for the first time, which is really exciting. Obviously, we've had it in China, in Shenzhen. Previously, it will move back there in 2022, but nice to see a change of pace. I know, for example, on the men's side, we had it in London in the O2 for a number of years. That's moved to Turin, which is nice. And for me, no real venue should have it for more than 5 years, honestly. But in saying that, that's a topic for another day. We're going to go into the people that are participating, as you can see on screen. Also, the groups, how I think they're going to shape up, who's going to go through to semi-finals. We're also going to explain the format as well for those who are not as familiar with the WTA Tour Final format. Also talk about what courts are going to be played on, what effect that might have on the players, advantages, disadvantages, matchups, predictions, of course. Before we get into that, though, please do remember to like this video. It really does help the channel to grow and helps with the algorithm. And, of course, please do subscribe to the channel as well. That is the biggest thing for us. Without you subscribers, without you viewers and subscribers, we would not be able to do this. So please do continue supporting the channel. It's amazing. Some of the support has been really good, especially recently. So do keep it coming, and do click the notification bell as well to get alerted to all the new videos. Thank you very much. Right, so Mexico, Guadalajara. What should we talk about first? I reckon we should talk about the groups first, who's participating as well. So no Ash Barty, pulled out, because of injury. And of course, there's some big names missing as well, either because they haven't made the cut or they have just not playing because of injury or rankings and lack of matches in the year. So people like your Osakas, your Serena Williamses, for example. So okay, that's understandable. So in terms of seedings, you can see here Sabalenka is the number 1 seed. Krejcikova is the number 2, 3 Pliskova, 4 Maria Sakkari, 5 Iga Swiatek, 6 Muguruza, 7 Paula Badosa, and 8 Anett Kontaveit, who's had a really, really good end to the season, no doubt, to be fair as well. So some very interesting players on here. Ons Jabeur, I think, was a reserve. She pulled herself out of it because of a niggle, so she wants to be fully fit, which is understandable. And of course, some players may be looking towards Australian Open, and they're thinking we want to maybe have a rest as well, which I can also understand. But there's some really, really good players, and you would only expect that, right, on the WTA Tour Finals, where it is, if not the top 8, it's definitely normally the top 10, top 12 players in the world, with a couple of people missing. So that's how I see it anyways. In terms of the groups, so Sabalenka, Sakkari, Swiatek, and Badosa is the first group. Group Shiken, I'm going to say. And group Teotihuacan, I probably completely butchered that name, so apologies. Krejcikova, Pliskova, Muguruza, and Anett Kontaveit. Looking at those groups, it's interesting. My initial thoughts. Now, I need to take into consideration it's going to be outdoors on a hard court as well. So I need to completely take away any notions of people who played well on clay or even grass and just focus on their hard court results. Obviously, Sabalenka's looked good on the hard courts. Sakkari's looked okay. Swiatek's looked okay. Badosa's looked quite good. Krejcikova has looked okay. Pliskova's looked decent. Muguruza's looked decent. And Anett Kontaveit is probably the most informed player coming into this tournament. Sabalenka also tested positive. She's now come back, but she hasn't had much match practice. So that'll be interesting to see how she fares. Sakkari's had a very good year, which is why obviously she's here. Same with Paula Badosa and Krejcikova, right? Grand Slam champion, yes, on clay, but makes a difference. And Pliskova also making a Grand Slam final. Muguruza has won a Grand Slam, but that's on the grass. So none of these players I can honestly say, because normally you'd have an Osaka, right, and Nabati, and you say those guys, especially Osaka, is just so dominant on hard courts. But given the US Open final result, where we had two players that were unseeded in Raducanu and Fernandez, two youngsters who won't be playing, it's very tough for you to call this, honestly. Sakkari did make the semi-finals. So did Sabalenka. So you could say that those two, alongside Swiatek and Badosa, that's probably the harder group. But they're pretty evenly matched, honestly. Both the groups, because Krejcikova, Pliskova, Muguruza, and Kontaveit is not bad either, and that's quite evenly matched. Okay, I'm going to give my prediction for the groups. I'm going to hang about, and then I'll go through the format as well. So actually, let's go through the format first, because then it might make more sense what I'm talking about. So the format is a round-robin format. So it's actually the 18th consecutive year doing that. So the format was reintroduced in the singles event in 2003. So 8 singles players, as you can see there, split into 2 groups of 4. The top 2 players from each group will advance into the semi-finals, where the tournament will resume in a standard knockout format. So semi-finals, final, winner. In terms of the final standings of each group, it's 1, it's the greatest number of wins, 2, greatest number of matches played, or head-to-head results if only 2 players are tied, or if 3 players are tied. And then you've got some other metrics in there which probably won't get down to that, so we won't talk about it. Interestingly, the prize money, total prize pool of $5 million. Not bad, eh? Not bad. And in terms of the playing conditions, outdoors, on hard course, as I said, 5,000 feet above sea level. So altitude there, interesting. And they'll be using the outdoor hard court, the Wilson US Open high altitude balls. There'll also be electronic line calling system, which is standard nowadays, isn't it? Right, so in terms of the groups and who I think is going to go through, Sabalenka, it really depends on her. It depends on how she's feeling. She hasn't played since the US Open. She'll probably be slightly rusty, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's an upset on the cards potentially. But I'll go with her. Sakkari's had a very good season, and she looks good on the hard courts. Iga Swiatek, a good player as well. The issue that I have with her is on the hard court, she doesn't look super comfortable. She looks more comfortable on the grass and the clay, which is funny because they almost play at polar opposites to each other. But I think the way that she moves on both surfaces is the difference. Whereas on the hard courts, and especially because everyone else around her is more comfortable on the hard courts as well, I feel like she just isn't quite as effective. Her forehand seems to break down a little bit on the hard courts, and yeah, as I said, I just don't think it quite suits her game. Paula Badosa, on the other hand, though, she does like playing on hard courts from what I've seen, and she's a dangerous player. So you don't want to count her out as well, because she is a very, very good player and very accomplished, to be honest with you. Maria Sakkari is just full of energy and, bit of power off both wings. She's not just a grinder. She can hit winners as well. It's a clean ball. Doesn't hit huge like Sabalenka. Not a huge server either, but she's got fantastic energy, good IQ from what it looks like, and really good fitness around the court, which I think, puts her in a good position. Sabalenka, we know the weapons she's got: huge serve, huge off both wings. Sometimes goes too big, which is to her detriment at times. But I would say, in a pretty predictable prediction, Sabalenka and Sakkari, just because I'm quite high on both of them, honestly. So I will go with those two. Recent form as well at the US Open, but as we've seen over the years in the WTA Tour, recent form doesn't always mean everything. But, well, sometimes it means absolutely nothing, to be fair. But I'll go with those two. In the second group, Krejcikova Pliskova, Muguruza, and Kontaveit. Now, Krejcikova is a solid player. She lacks a little bit of power on these courts, but a good, accomplished server, hits her spots, good spot server, good at the net as well, solid on both wings. Pliskova, we know she's got a big serve, forehand's good, backhand can break down at times, but overall, if she's firing, then if she's hot, she's very hot. If she's cold, she can be very cold as well. So she needs to bring an A game. And Muguruza, again, like a little bit similar to Pliskova, to be fair, in the way that she plays, in my opinion. Very talented again, once again, high energy of, high intensity, I think. Clean striker of the ball off both wings. Serve, again, not huge, but hits her spots. It's big enough. She's tall. She's quite good on the net as well. And Anett Kontaveit just looks like she can do no wrong. She's been striking the ball so well, and she just looks so good. She's in phenomenal form. So I'm actually going to go. I need to look at matchups as well, actually, because I need to look at whose style is bad for who as well. Sorry, and form-wise, I'm actually going to go Kontaveit. I just think she's got nothing to lose. No one expects her to do anything probably here, honestly, because she has just crept into the World Tour Finals. And I think she will be really up for this. And then in terms of my second pick, I'm actually going to go Muguruza. So I'm going to go completely the opposite of what I did for the first group, where I went for the top 2 seeds. I'm going to go for the bottom 2 seeds in this group. Yeah, I've just got a feeling. Could be wrong, because Krejcikova is a very good player, as is Pliskova as well. But that's going to be my feelings. Then I guess if we have, I'm actually going to go very little. I'm going to go Kontaveit to top the group, Muguruza second, then Sabalenka to top the group, and Sakkari second. That would mean Sabalenka versus Muguruza and Sakkari Kontaveit as my semis. So Sabalenka versus Muguruza. I would go with Sabalenka. And then Kontaveit and Sakkari. I'm actually going to go Kontaveit. I'm going to go for a Sabalenka Kontaveit final. And I'm actually going to go Kontaveit to win it. It's probably a weird pick for you guys, but I'm going to go with the form. I just feel like she can do no wrong for the past couple of months. Honestly, she's just been that good, and I don't think she'll gas. I don't think she'll be tired. I think she'll run with the form. So I can see her playing really, really well. So let's see if she can. But it'll be exciting if she can. Eh? Really exciting. Should we look at some of the upcoming matches then as well? So the first match is going to include Kontaveit. It will be the Estonian versus Krejcikova. So that's a good little fun matchup there. So let's get that up for you guys. It's interesting actually because the timings will be weird here in the UK, but we will try and do some live streaming because I think it'd be quite cool to do. Krejcikova versus Kontaveit is the first one. So I'm going to go Kontaveit there. But let's see. I'll have to back her now as I've made that wild prediction. And Pliskova, Muguruza, I'm going to go Muguruza. I think she'll just be too solid. But the thing is, Pliskova, it's a lot of her losses are down to her rather than being outplayed, if that makes sense. A lot of unforced errors filtering into a game and just lack of concentration, lack of application, because she's very, very talented. And really, with the talent she's got, probably should have won a slam by now, honestly. She's made 2 Grand Slam finals. And I don't know. I just feel like she's too good not to win one. It's the same with Sabalenka. Sabalenka's younger. I feel like she's a few years behind Pliskova. Pliskova should have... Yeah, still got time, but let's see. Anyways, that's my predictions and the format, etc. as well. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Please do remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next video. And of course, do remember to click the notification bell to get alerted to all new videos. And also check us out on Instagram, QualityShotF, on Twitter, QualityShot1, and on Twitch, which is QualityShot1 as well, and on Discord. Description or link in the description.